Shalom, shalom. I hope everyone had a sweet and wonderful Passover. Today we're going to be talking about the nature of enlightenment in Judaism. And the Parsha that we'll be covering is Kedoshim. Judaism, often people don't think there's such a thing as enlightenment in Judaism. But it's not so. Enlightenment is called Mochen Gadlos in Torah. And it means literally great mind. Every creature, my teacher used to say, every animal, everything on the planet knows its place except people. And he meant by that is that everything is perfectly aligned, every redwood, every chipmunk. Only people suffer from that place of deep angst and even more to the point from that place of separation. Enlightenment, Mochen Gadlos, in a Torah view, is really the interconnection and the experience of kesher, of connection. Meaning to say, each of us has been enlightened perfectly a big tzaddik many times in our life. During a sports event, during study, in intimacy with someone we love, in walking through the forest, we have taken that clenched fist of the heart and just released it and been at one with all things. The difference between ourselves and a redwood in this kind of scenario is that it is hard for us to remain in that state of release, in that state of connection, where a redwood is able to. So the practice of Kedoshim that we speak about in this Parsha, the practice of holy things, practicing to be holy, as it were, is really another way of saying how to practice to be enlightened, to be whole, to be connected. So once a person came to the Baal Shem Tov, some of his Talmidim, and said, Rabbi, you keep talking about so many different sorts of practices and the difficulties of things and how things are so hard, but can you give us something really concrete? Tell us how to feel, how to experience that place of enlightenment. So the Rebbe, he pulled an apple out of his pocket, and he said, this apple, incredible, is from the Garden of Eden. It's perfect. It's a perfect apple. And one of the Talmidim said, it has a big bruise. It's not perfect. And the master said, it's all in the eyes of the beholder. So the first step in practice, according to the tradition, in this Mochen Gadlos, in enlightenment, is the recognition and opening of the self, is to let the soul come forth. And the best way to do that is through seeing, permitting ourselves to see things with the possibility of joy, to let ourselves try to release again and again in the situation, to feel that Gamze Latova, this may be for the good, even though it is very hard to experience it in the moment. But again, I use this image a lot to release the fist of the heart. This is the first step. The second step is to calm ourselves and to move into joyful perception of each thing. It is to go into a situation with enthusiasm, to try to experience everything that we're doing, to again and again bring ourselves back to that place of enthusiasm and joy about what we're doing. Whether we are washing dishes, whether we are studying Torah, whether we are walking the dog or changing diapers. There's a wonderful old Zen saying that says, before enlightenment, what did I do? I pounded rice. And after enlightenment, what did I do? I pounded rice. We would use the same kind of analogy for Torah. So before enlightenment, I changed diapers, and after enlightenment, I changed diapers. Meaning to say, enlightenment is found again in the eyes of the beholder, or through the mechanism of letting ourselves have joy with the task at hand. And the third step is what's called implementing. And this implementing means action. Not just to take on the practices of the heart, not just to take on the practices of the mind, meaning the practices of joy and the practice of recognition, But actual spiritual practices, such as prayer or study, kashrut, meditation, these kind of things that again and again help to shape us. Because in some ways our body affects our soul, and our soul affects our body. And the two go hand in hand. So the teaching is to try to take action from the recognition of the divine. There are two types of sadness, my friends, and two types of joy. One kind of sadness is despair. And our teachers all say, no, don't go there no matter what. Where we are unable to even act. The other kind of sadness is someone I love is sick, and I just have a deep, heartfelt sadness about it. And I try to help, and I feel it, and I then let it go. In the same way, there are two types of joy, and it is profoundly germane to this understanding of practice of our Parsha of Kedoshim and the practice of enlightenment, of mocha godless, of great mind. The first kind of joy is the things, so many things of the world, which we are supposed to partake of. Indeed, in the Talmud it says, of every pleasure that is given to you to taste, you will be held accountable for the ones that you did not try in this life. But it is to partake of the joys of this world and think, those are enough. And then become increasingly addicted just to a superficial going clubbing or food or whatever it is, and not let ourselves look any deeper. That way leads ultimately to despair also. But the other kind of joy is the joy of the way that my teacher said, it is like a person whose house burns down and they begin to rebuild it. Every stone that they put on the foundation to rebuild the house, it brings them joy. So every single thing in this world of so much pain and difficulty, if we're able to bring that place of concentration and joy to rebuilding the house that is all around us, that will bring us such great joy. To be able to give a thirsty person water, there's enough joy inherent in that to be able to dance for 20 years. This is the teaching of Kedoshim, and this is an understanding, one of the understandings of the Torah path toward enlightenment.